Number 205 in the Masters of Cinema series is Cloak and Dagger, a movie starring Gary Cooper, Lily Palmer, directed by Fritz Lang, came out in 1946, and this is a kind of undercover spy World War II mission type of movie, but has a bit of a twist because we follow the character of Gary Cooper, who's playing a physics professor. Not really a man who's ingrained within the war. This Alva Jesper character is dragged into it because of what they're trying to do. They're trying to stop the Nazis researching and getting to atomic weapons. Now, he knows a lot of the scientists within the community before the war broke out. He knows a couple of the people that are being forced to work upon this Nazi technology, and he is coerced ever so slightly to go undercover and try to help these scientists break free and come over to the American side. Now, I think Gary Cooper in this role was really surprising, really wonderful. He has a very distinct style about him. It's rather subtle, the way he acts compared to everybody else. The kind of choices he makes are really kind of interesting and fun, and I think he has a wonderful role here that he really gets his teeth into. The idea of this spy mission of a man who isn't really his forte. He has an ability to do it, but it's not really something that he's trained for. His friends that he makes along the way, the soldiers that are kind of with him, talking to the scientists and the kind of rapport that they have are all wonderful stuff. But this thing is drenched in atmosphere. I was constantly worried about most of the characters. Were they being honest? Were they being duplicitous? Was he being taken advantage of? Was he going to be enslaved and forced to work on this project as well? I just never knew exactly where the story was going to go, and that's what always kept me on my toes and always had me filled with dread and tension. I was genuinely afraid for this character most of the time. I just never knew where the danger was going to come from. And there are some wonderful scenes throughout the movie that just highlight this tension, none more so than a wonderful fight scene that's taking place in a little room at the bottom of some flats, as just general people walk by to inform. We've got these two guys silently fighting, struggling, doing the most horrible things to each other, and ultimately one's going to die, and it is prolonged, it's kind of vicious, it's just different in the kind of violence that I would have seen in other movies of the time, and it's wonderful to see. It's really tense filled. There's a moment just after that where there is the sound of footsteps coming down the stairs. Gary Cooper has just killed a man. He's standing over the body. There's nothing he can do. And it's just, you feel worried for this character. If he gets caught, his mission's up. He's probably going to die. And it turns out to be not footsteps. It turns out to be something else. And then that leads to another playful nature in the camera, where Fritz Lang really teases us, where we see one thing, it pans away to a reveal and then pans back to see that the situation has changed. I don't want to explain it all because I feel it's a really nice surprise and moment within the movie, but I just, I really liked the little touches that this had like that along the way. Cloak and Dagger was a really fun movie to sit down and watch. It was one that kind of drags you in almost immediately with this tale of espionage as we follow our lead character as he is smuggled into Germany at one point, where you feel as if things are getting really crazed, and you're really worried about him as he's with the Italian resistance, and they are just waiting to start a war at almost at points, because there's a moment where the truck that they're hiding in is being just looked in. They're all hiding there, hiding from the spotlight, all armed, waiting to fight, and it just creates this tension. There is a kind of love story shoehorned into this one as well, which actually grew on me as we follow a member of the Italian resistance along with Gary Cooper's character, and they have this attraction and chemistry together, but she's done some things to aid the war that she's deeply ashamed of, and there's a moment where she breaks down because of the things that she's done, and just to see Gary Cooper's character just kind of comfort her and let her know that it's okay. It was just a wonderful moment, and it really created that moment where they kind of come together in a clinch where you feel it. You feel like they've made a real connection. It's not a forced love story. It feels genuine in the moment, in the high stakes that they are in. I really like that. You know, nobody's perfect in this movie. They're all a little shade of grey one way or another. They've all done things they wish they hadn't have done. But it just adds to the storytelling. It adds to the characters and the situation and the moments that we have. I really liked Cloak and Dagger. I think it was a pretty great movie. One that I really enjoyed. Another Fritz Lang cracker. Great performance from Gary Cooper. I'd love to know your thoughts on this movie. Let me know in the comment box below, and I'll see you next time on Man v Film.